Hello everyone and happy 2019! I know it's been a while since my last video, so for today I want to give you an update on both of my tanks, show you how they're doing, things that I need to work on, as well as plans for the future. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is tank number 1, my 10-gallon tank with rock flower anemones, gorgonians, a purple plating sponge, 1 clownfish, and 1 pom-pom crab. It also has a lot of hair algae, which I want to work harder to remove and keep out of the tank. I do want to get another fish for this tank, as well as a couple of inverts, most likely some anemone shrimp, because I have had those in this tank before and I think they're pretty cool. Equipment wise, I want to get a different top off container for my water, since I'm just using like a lemonade container you can see on the left of the screen, as well as adding a skimmer. That's pretty much for this tank. It has been set up this way for 3 or so years, and I'm pretty happy with how it chugs along when it's doing better. The green hair algae has been a problem most of the time that I've had this tank, but I'm usually able to keep it in check with frequent water changes and manual removal. And here we have my second tank. It is a 25-gallon lagoon tank and has pretty much been a mixed reef since I set it up about 3 years ago for this tank as well. I did lose all of my SPS coral when I moved about 6 months ago, and I probably won't try those types of corals again, just because they do tend to be a little bit more sensitive to any changes, and I know that I'm not going to be able to do water changes as often as I had been previously. I plan to move this tank more towards an LPS tank, getting some more Euphyllia, mostly frog spawn and hammers, as well as possibly getting a few NPS corals involved. I'm thinking gorgonians and sun corals. I had a black sun coral that also died when I moved, so I'm hoping to find a replacement for that as well. I do have the 2 clownfish, which are the only fish in this tank, and I want to get them a roommate, possibly a mandarin, and maybe another cleaner shrimp. I had one for a really long time. I just don't like how they take food out of all of the corals' mouths. I also want to get a skimmer added to this tank as well, but equipment wise, I'm pretty happy with what I've got. In other news, both tanks may be moving out of this room. We're going to be redoing our living room flooring, hopefully within the next week or 2, and the small tank may be moving into that room. And we might change this current room into a guest room, in which case the lagoon tank would have to find another home, possibly in the dining room. But that's still a little bit off, probably not for at least a couple weeks, maybe even a month or 2. Of course, if that happens, I will let you guys know, and I will likely document the process. Hopefully it won't be too long before my next video, though I'm not going to promise that I'll have one next week. I will probably have one soon. Of course, if you guys have any questions, suggestions, or comments, leave them down below, and I will see you next time.